first speaker of the Schnatter Institute Entrepreneurial and Economic Speaker Series for the spring semester. My name is Rob Matthews, and I work in the Schnatter Institute here on campus. And really fortunate tonight that we have, I think, a really unique speaker. Scott Lilly comes from the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and he'll tell you all about that, so I won't steal his thunder with that. But I think one thing that's really interesting, and obviously a lot of students in the crowd tonight, I think one thing that's really interesting about Scott is his career trajectory, and he'll tell you about that and kind of where he came from and his background. And but one thing we want to do first, this is going to feel a little class-ish to you, but if you could move forward, that would just be, I know Scott likes it to be more intimate and, just conversational. So if you could do the dreaded come forward, get up and move, but I think that'll work out a little better for Scott, and a little closer. So, Scott?
Somebody, sorry, back there in the back, I think you were plugged into the wall. If I had my bag, I'll give you my little travel charger. So how many people are here for like credit, class, something? It's okay, I'm fine with that, if you are. You? Anyone else? So why, so those of you who are students, why are you here? What do you come for? Oh, here we go with that. Now, I was at a high school earlier, and they don't talk. I know college students know how to talk. Credit, I know why she's here. Why are you here? Credit? It's okay. My feelings are not hurt. I'm getting credit for this, too. It's okay. Credit? I know you getting credit because you're just sitting there looking like, please don't call on me. Not you, the computer, the friend. She's over there looking at your screen because she don't want me to talk to her. No, seriously, is it credit? What kind of credit do you get? Like for communications class? Okay. Well, thank you all for coming out. I am, how many people are non-students? Non-student, non-student, non-student. Okay. So my name is Scott Lilly. I'm with the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. And I saw you in class today, front row left, right? Adidas pants on. Yeah, okay. How many people are familiar with historically black colleges and universities? Probably not many, right? No? Few? Okay. How many people are familiar with nonprofits? Nonprofits. So when you think of a nonprofit, generally speaking, you think of doing good in the world, right? Giving back, community. And at Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and I will tell you about my career, which is very interesting. I came out of corporate America, so I'll tell you about that. But in 2010, Thurgood Marshall College Fund, we were facing a crisis. And we were operating our nonprofit as though we just could save the world and just do anything we wanted with our money. And what we quickly learned is that with no money, you have no mission. So there's a little phrase we say, no money, no mission. So for any of you who want to start your own nonprofit one day, you want to give back, you want to get in the community, you want to start up some program, that's great to have a mission and you can be passionate about it, but if you have no money, that's not going to go very far at all, right? So think about yourself. If your car runs out of gas and you don't have no money to put in it, you're not going to go too much further. We had about 6 weeks of payroll when I joined Thurgood Marshall College Fund in 2010. I started in August 9th, 2010. This is 7 years, 5 months, and some days. I just calculated the other day that I've been here. And in that time, we went from a $14 million organization to a $28 million organization in 7 years. Now, keep in mind, in 2010, what was going on, right? You had, many of you, probably the professors in the room know, you had an economic crash, right? In 2010, nobody was paying. People were being laid off. The housing bubble happened. Government stopped funding things. It was just chaos going on in the markets. And we received a lot of our money from federal funding at the time. So we had to pivot. And what I was brought in to do, and kind of which ties into why Rob asked me to come here, is that we took an idea of what I call, and what you probably hear is the entrepreneurial mindset, and brought it to a nonprofit and took us from that 17 million to the 28 million. And so I'll tell you a little bit of my story. I don't want to make this kind of lecture-y. I like to, as you can see, I'm more informal, but at the same time, hopefully leave something that you can take away. So my story, let me start there, right? Because everybody wants to know the story, and I think this young man, what's your name? Christian heard it a little bit. So I was a student athlete. I attended Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia, and I played basketball. So 4-year letterman, graduated 4 years, studied real estate. I was a concentration in business with a focus in real estate, urban land development. And just knew that I was going to be in the commercial real estate field and industry. And fortunately, my senior year after my last game, I woke up. Please don't do this. Don't, any of you, who's a senior? Oh man, I hope you don't do what I'm about to tell you. I finished my last game in March, and then I was like, oh dang, what's next? I gotta get a job. I gotta do something with my life. My knees are bad, my shoulder's messed up, I've had surgery, I'm not gonna go play in the NBA, never wanted to play in the NBA. I gotta do something when May comes and I graduate. And I had no clue what I was gonna do. So fortunately for me, I had a gentleman that I played AAU basketball with. His dad was a big real estate developer in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where I'm from. Called him and said, hey, it's spring break. Can I come to, I just want to come to town. Can I just come talk to you? I don't want to interview. I just want to come see how you're doing. And so he said, yeah, sure. And I'll give you a little insider tip. You know, my nickname back in the day was Scooter, right? So, you know, my mom and dad, I don't know why they came up with this name. So this guy, Scooter, come on, yeah, come talk to me. You know, I want to hear what you're doing. So I go Charlotte, I talk to him, and he tells me, how you doing? How's everything? And then he tells me something that stuck with me to this day. He said, I've been watching you for the last 4 years. Now, I hadn't seen this man in probably 7 years. He was like, I've been watching you. I've been following your story. I've been following you. I see what you're doing. And, you know, you're not in any trouble. You're not on drugs. You're not doing these things. No, sir. No, sir. Okay, well, he took out a piece of paper and he wrote a name down. He said, I want you to, I don't want you to go interview anywhere else. Don't go looking for a job. And next week, somebody's going to call you. Now I'm thinking, okay, that was kind of interesting, but you didn't tell me what I really wanted to hear, which was, I'm going to give you a job, right? That's what I really wanted. So the next week, I get a phone call from the head of HR from his company, and she says, listen, my name is da-da-da, and Mr. Harris says that you know, a great talent, he wants to offer you a job as a property management trainee. Now, there was no such job as a property management trainee at this organization. They just made it up. So that was the first thing I thought of as an entrepreneur. When you're in control, you can just do what you want to do, right? So that's the thing that ultimately I was thinking in my head was, wow, that's cool. One day I want to be in a position where I just want to hire you, young lady. So you know what? I'm going to make a job, and it's going to be titled this, and you start 2 weeks from now. That's kind of cool that you can control that, right? But at the time, I was like, I'm not in his position. So, great, what is the role? Well, we don't actually have a job description, but give me a week and I'll kind of put something together. So what it came out to be was, in the world of commercial real estate, there's a lot of different things. You have the maintenance, you have the property management, you have the people who go lease the space, you have the deal makers, you have the people who construct the buildings, clean the facilities, all of that. And so, this property management trainee was actually shadowing the chief maintenance officer on the project, on the property. And I wore steel-toe boots. I had a uniform, a Centos uniform. I changed light bulbs. That was my job. I was like, okay, well, I just graduated. I have a college degree. I'm pretty smart, but this is just a stepping stone. This is a path to where I want to ultimately get to. And so I did that. I did that for 14 months. And I did not complain about it one time in my career. Because what I realized was I was making connections and I was making relationships, and hopefully this is something that sticks with you all, is never treat the person who you think is at the bottom of the totem pole or the org chart any different than you treat the president of this university. Because here's the thing. We all have the same thing in this world. It's 24 hours in a day. You don't get any extra time. I don't get any extra because I get paid. We all have the same amount of time. So it taught me to say, okay, you know what, when these individuals are here, you have to be able to connect with them. Because the reality is, if this room right now got super hot, can anybody fix the air conditioning here? But that person that probably doesn't have a college degree can be the person who kind of saves this whole operation, right? What if this was a funder who was coming here and I was talking and I was ready to write $1 million check, but I came in here and the heat was hot. It was just like ridiculous. Somebody would have to fix this thing, otherwise I'm gonna second guess writing y'all $1 million check, right? That's just how it works. So in my mind, I thought, well, if I can make sure that I understand how the building works at the ground level, then one day when I'm managing this property, or one day when I'm trying to buy a property, I'll know what actually makes sense, right? And I won't get taken advantage of when somebody puts a deal in front of me. So long story, fast forwarding, I'm working, I do all the, I got the keys on my hip, the fire alarm goes off at 3 in the morning, I'm on call like a doctor. I go to report, I'm there with the fire department, pushing in the code, here's how you bypass the fire alarm system, stuff that I never learned in the classroom, and it didn't matter. So then one day I get tapped by the property manager. She asked me to come to her. She says, I'm going to move you up to assistant property manager. Okay. Does that mean I get to stop wearing a uniform? Yes. Check, goal met, right? No more uniform. But what I thought was, wow, dang, now I got to have a dry cleaning bill because, every Friday the uniforms would just show up. I'd switch them out and they come. But now I got to actually get clothes, right? But that's fine. I'm young. At the same time, I started a certification the very first week I started. So by the time I was 18 months into my career, I had my what was called RPA, so Real Property Administrator. It's a designation to be given to people who are in the property management business. So here I am, 18 months out. I've got my RPA check. That's another designation for me. So I'm now the assistant property manager. She calls me into her office after I'm in the role for a little bit and says, you know what? I'm going on maternity leave, and I want you to run the property. I'm going to teach you how to run the property. Now, here I am, 23, 24 years old. I have no clue what she's talking about, right? But she taught me how to manage a budget. She taught me how to execute a budget. And what was important is the owner of the property sat right next door to her. So literally, I saw him every day. So here I am thinking, this is the owner of the property. What am I going to do if I mess this up? This is this man's money. This is how he feeds his family, et cetera, et cetera. But I did it. Fast forward, get an email one day. Hey, I want to take you to lunch. Okay. Gentleman downtown in our downtown office asked me to go to lunch, asked me to come work for him. I moved from the suburbs to the 26th floor in the Bank of America headquarters. It's the headquarters of the Bank of America, right? Y'all seen a little flagscape around the world. And I'm sitting at 25 years old, and I'm on the corner off. I have a corner window looking over the corner intersection of the busiest street in Charlotte, thinking, man, this is a pretty good gig, right? Like, man, I've moved now from the expense side, and I'm saying, oh, I'm on my trajectory. I'm not a maintenance guy anymore. I'm not shoveling snow anymore. Now I'm actually making deals, right? I'm 25 years old, and I'm doing deals, and the deals, I'm looking at them, and they're, $150 million, $200 million deals. And they want me in the room because I was a property manager, and I knew how to execute a lease. So they said, you're going to know how to negotiate a lease. Didn't even see that coming, right? Because most people want to go make the money first. Like, let me make the money, let somebody else deal with this stuff over here. But my path was different. I said, let me go make sure I understand how it works at the bottom when nobody likes it. And now I'm in the room. I have knowledge that nobody else has, sitting around the table. So I happened to get on the elevator one day, and a guy by the name of Johnny Taylor gets on the elevator. Hi, I'm Johnny Taylor. How are you? Hi, I'm Scott Lilly. Congratulations on your new business. Your new business? Yes, I just read in the business journal that you just started a new business with inside of a law firm, and kudos to you. Love to be able to catch up with you one day. The man got off on my floor and gave me his business card. I'm thinking, why is he doing this, But you know what, I'm going to take it. Because if I gave you my business card, you'd probably take it, right? So he comes and tells me, hey, let's hang out. Let's go get haircuts and then all this stuff one weekend. So I'm like, why not? The reason I said yes is because he drove a Mercedes-Benz G500 truck, and I was like, I want one of those one day. I don't know what he does. I don't know how he got it, but he ain't selling drugs. He ain't running dope, and he must have made it clean. So something he did, I want to do, because, orange don't look good on me. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not wearing orange, right? I'm not wearing no orange jumpsuit. I'm not going to jail, so not going to do it. So fast forward, he asked me to go out. We hang out. It was February of 2009. It was when that happened. And I was like, this is interesting. And so, actually, no, this was February of 2002, I think, or 3, 5, I don't know. No, it was 2005, exactly when it was. So he decides he's going to take this big corporate job as the head of HR for this organization that has 30,000 people, and he asked me to go to New York City and look for temporary housing with him. Now, I've never been to New York City. Has anybody been to New York City? The city, right? Like, the first time you went to New York City, so I might be dating myself, but you know that Jay-Z, Alicia Keys song, New York? Like, when I tell y'all, when you get to New York City and you see the lights, you're like, oh, man, I'm in New York City. Like, it's real. That energy is palpable. But I played it cool. I'm not going to let him know that I haven't been to New York City. Like, I'm just with him, you know? Now, he paid for the trip. I'm cool with that, you know? He paid for the hotel. I'm cool with that. Now, he tested me. We went all over the city, right, looking for temporary housing. My feet were hurting. I'm tired. I'm thinking, Jesus, why am I doing this? But, long story short, at dinner that Saturday night, he said, I want you to come work for me. Now, here I am in commercial real estate. He's in human resources. And I'm like, I don't know HR. Like, I didn't study HR. I don't know HR. Why do you want me? He said, you're smart. You'll figure it out. And it stuck with me. I was like, I guess. But I said, hey, when you have a job, now he didn't have a job description. He didn't have anything. He just said, I want you to be on my team. And that's where I'm going to tie this all together in terms of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial mindset. People who are trying to build something, and when you try to build something one day, you want smart people on your team. You may not know what job they're going to do. You may not know exactly where they're going to fit in, but you do know, like, that person, I got to have them on my team. I don't want somebody else to get them, so I'm going to get them. So in January, he took his job in 2006. I'll never forget this. And in May, I specifically remember this. He called me on a Wednesday. He said, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm in my office working. Like, what are you doing? Okay, listen, here's what I want to do. My assistant's getting ready to get on the phone with you. Here's the job. I told you what it is. I need you to come up here and I need you to meet people who are on the team. It reports to me, but I need you to meet these people because I just need them to get a feel for you. They're kind of wondering, who is this guy? He has no HR background. Why would you hire him? I was on a Wednesday. I got a plane ticket. I took off and took a sick day on Monday. I flew to New York City that morning, had my meetings, flew back to Charlotte. On Wednesday, I quit my job. I turned my resignation letter in, and 10 days later, I was living in New York City. Right? Like, and I said to myself, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. I don't want to wake up 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now and say, man, I wish I would have took that opportunity. I had no kids. I had a girlfriend at the time, now my wife, but we weren't married. Nothing was holding me back. So I packed up my bags and I moved to New York City, right? Flew all over the world, got on private jets, it was the coolest thing, right? But I worked my butt off. I mean, I worked 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I worked 12-hour days. It was hard work. And it made me realize that if I could make it in New York City, and this is what I challenge you, if you can make it in a city like New York, D.C., San Francisco, Tokyo, you can make it anywhere, right? So Muncie, Indiana is, it's not that big, right? We had to go to Ruby Tuesdays today I can get Ruby Tuesdays anywhere. But that's kind of a thing in Muncie. But it's cool because what you all represent is something bigger than this, right? The world it really is so big and so many opportunities, but if you're scared to step out of your comfort zone, you're going to stay right here. And so I decided to go to New York City. I did this job. 18 months later, he decides within the organization, they're going to start a new company. He's going to be the president. And the first person he called was me. He said, I want you to come move back to Charlotte and take on. Again, I didn't know what the job was. He was just like, I want you on the team. All right, so 2006, he's on the board of Thurgood Marshall College Fund. I'm a sponsor. We go to their conferences. In 2009, they need a change of leadership. So they ask him to be the president of the organization. He takes over. You know what he does? He calls me. He called me and said, hey, I'm going to D.C. I got some meetings, and I want you to. I said, well, listen, I'm not ready to move to D.C. I had some things going on with my family, my mother. I said, I need to stay here, but I will travel. I'll do whatever you need me to. Can I work remotely? He said, yes, because this job is going to go to all of the college campuses in the network, 47, and I need you to go build out, and this is where my entrepreneurship hat started. He said the organization has been delivering talent to companies and it's been bad. There's no good process. So I need you to go fix it and build a business, build a team and build a business model out. And I didn't talk to him for 8 months. Okay. So he hired me in August. By October, I delivered 500 students to the Leadership Institute. 40% of them landed a job, their first LI, and all of our partners was like, whoa, what is going on, right? Now, I didn't realize it, but we were broke, y'all. Like, we had like 6 weeks of payroll. That first experience that I did in delivering those students led those companies to say, you know what, we want to reinvest. So now we're going into 2011. We're going into 2012. We're building this business. I'm hiring a team. I go from a 2-person shop to now, today, I run 75% of the organization, right? I have the biggest team, and I control about 70 to 80% of our budget. When I started out, remember, as one little maintenance guy. And so for me, and the thing that I want to talk about today is kind of that entrepreneurial mindset is all about creating value. And so for those who are, it's utility, right? If you're in econ. But at the end of the day, this young man has a Montclair jacket on, right? Didn't notice, I noticed that, right? So he's got a Montclair puffer on, which if anybody knows, it's a pretty nice jacket. There's one right around the corner from us, so I see it all the time. I can only window shop, so he must be an entrepreneur. I'm trying to be with him, right? But you bought it for a certain reason, right? It has some value to you. Warmth, style, color, size, brand. It means something to you. And so you put your money in exchange for that coat, right? I don't think you stole it, but I'm hoping you did. But you put some money up, right? So the question that you have to ask yourself is, why would anybody hire you and pay you if you don't add value to them? I'm going to say it one more time. Why would anybody hire you, give you some money, if you don't add value to them? And so over my career, I've just tried to make sure that I add value in whatever I do, right? I've added value as a maintenance guy. I added value as a property manager. I added value when I got on the brokerage team. I added value when I met Johnny Taylor in the elevator and said something to him that he would have never thought that I was going to say, oh, congratulations on your business. But I'm curious, right? And so that's what you have to think about. How can you be smart and curious about more than what's going on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever? Because at the end of the day, this is my little rant, and I won't do it too much. When you put a selfie, right, think about this. Think about just for a second. When you do a selfie, and then you post it on your Instagram or something, and then you watch to see how many people like it or give you a thumbs up or whatever, that's like the most narcissistic thing in the world that you could do. You're saying, world, look at me, look at me, look at me. How can that help me, right? If I got a job to do, and I got to go to all these schools, and you out here worrying about putting your image out to the universe. Switch your mindset to what can you do for other people. Because I guarantee you, when you can make someone's life easier, they will pay you for it, and they will pay you well for it. And you will get opportunities where you didn't think that you had to apply for it, or how did it come up. But I'm telling you, I am telling you, add value to someone else's life. Stop thinking about yourself. Because when you do that, ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to really be able to take, like we have at Thurgood Marshall College Fund, a nonprofit, and actually help over 1,500 students every year. We provide about 450 students receive scholarships from us. About $5 million of our annual budget goes to helping individuals who are enrolled in college stay in college. That's powerful work, right? But these companies are going to give us this money if we don't go out and give them the talent and process their payments the right way and show up on time and deliver what they're looking for. So add value. Shift the mindset. Shift the mindset from thinking about being that kind of, it's about me, to what can I do for someone else. That's the classic idea of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are all about solving a problem at the end of the day, right? I mean, your iPhone, Steve Jobs started out with the iPod. He was all about thinking about how can I make it easier for people to listen to their music, right? That's all it was. This little device, put some earpieces in your ear, and you can now take your music anywhere. You don't have to be tied to a laptop. You don't have to be tied to cassette tapes. And it's digital. You don't even have a CD. He created value, right? There's a problem that he was solving. How can I take my music anywhere easily and access it from anywhere? And then they created a device to support that. Now, they made a beautiful device and all the other stuff that goes with it, and the rest is history. That's what we did at Thurgood Marshall College Fund. We started identifying individuals who had an entrepreneurial mindset, who could bring in value to the organization. So now we'll go from a team of 2 to a team of 4 to a team of 5 to a team of 15, now to a team of approximately 24 people of the 50 people in the organization or so report to me. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to brag. I'm saying it ultimately because at the end of the day, when you add value to someone else, they're going to give you more responsibility. So I started as a senior director, and then I got VP, and then I got VP and president, got a whole division added. And then now I'm chief programs officer and president of OFC. Right? So we get to play in the innovation and entrepreneurship space, and we get to play in the higher education space. That's ultimately what I wanted to kind of just bring to you today, to talk about my story, to talk about how at Thurgood Marshall College Fund, what we ended up having to do was shift our mindset from what can you do for us to what can we do for you. How can we listen to you as a partner and say, look, you're looking for some of the best and brightest, diverse talent at historically black colleges and universities, and because you can't send your team to 47 schools, let us do it. My value proposition is I have a team of recruiters who come out of the corporate world who will go out and look and find out the students you're looking for and bring them to you. So all you've got to do is fly once to one conference. Right? So we added value by making sure at the end of the day their life became easier. So instead of a recruiter having to fly out to Itabena, Mississippi, anybody ever heard of that? Lord knows. When I tell you it's some I thought it was kind of bad. I won't even say it was bad because I'm used to this, but I got off the plane 6:30. I had to drive here last night. I mean, it was kind of easy in a way, but there was a portion where I was like, okay, it's a little dark. What's going on? Where are the street lights? Go to Itabena, Mississippi, you will be like scared, and I don't mean no harm, but a black man in backwoods Mississippi, that's a little suspect, You're thinking, am I gonna get out of here if my tire, goes flat? Is there a deer that's gonna come up, and next thing you know, this is some get out type of stuff? I don't know, We just want to make sure. We just want to make sure I come home alive. But at the end of the day, I do that and we do that work, and I send my team out on the road because these companies aren't going to go out there. And these opportunities are going to be passed up by students if they're not brought the opportunities to them. So that's what we do at Thurgood Marshall College Fund. We also make sure that we go on Capitol Hill. We have a government affairs office, and we do policy and advocacy work. We make sure that things like Parent Plus Loan, I think many of you probably heard about that, and Title III funds, specifically to HBCUs, Title IV funds. We make sure that those funds are allocated to HBCUs because here's the thing, public universities are not getting the same funding from their states as they have in the past. Your university has probably seen a decrease in funding. You don't see it, but when you really wonder, like, why aren't they doing this or why aren't they building that, it's because the state funding has decreased. And so we have to make sure for our institutions that we represent that we advocate strongly for them. So hopefully that's been a little bit of insight into my career. It's been weird and all over the place. I love it. I love what I do. I stay on the road. I came here today, and then I'm going back to D.C., and I moved my flight in the morning, by the way. So now because I was supposed to land at 11, and then I was supposed to fly back out at 2 o'clock. So now I land at 9. I get a chance to go home and see my wife for about 2 hours, and then I go back to the airport, and I fly to Atlanta, and then I fly to California on Sunday, and then I fly back to D.C. on Wednesday. So that's kind of the life that you live. I love it. I would do it any day. I love the fact that Rob brought me here. We met, and I would encourage you all to explore what they're doing around the Gallup Strengths and the BP10. The BP10 is something that helps you identify kind of your builder, your entrepreneurial talents, and how you can then team up. You two are friends, but what do you two do? You two might be business partners one day, right? At the end of the day, and what you bring to the table is going to be different than what she brings to the table. But if you all understand each other's value, right, and what you own, and then you do what you do just very well. You do what you do very well, and I guarantee you, you'll be on your way to a successful operation. I can't guarantee you success because you can work really hard and still, end up failing. Because we did that at one of our companies. We worked really hard for 18 months, and ultimately it didn't work. But, you learn from your failures. That's your best lessons learned. So, any questions? Not any questions. Let's just talk. I want to hear what you all have to say at this point. Because some of you it seemed like some things resonated a little bit. You were kind of like, smiling. So I just want to know what and you took a lot of notes. So it's more than just credit for you, it looks like. Something resonates. So any questions, thoughts?
With all the traveling that you do and all the time that you put in now and had to put in when you were building up your career from the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
how were you able to go about balancing all of that hard work and time spent with the relationship you were developing and with your wife now?
So I'm very fortunate that I have a wonderful wife. I met her in college. As I said, I was an athlete, so she met me, and my life is, since the day we met, I've been traveling, right? I had to go to games, I was traveling, so she got used to it. Interestingly enough, we kind of need our space. Like, there are times where she just, well, now she doesn't do it, but there were times, probably 5, 6 years ago, she'd be like, when are you going on the road? You need to leave. Like, you need to get out of the house, right? But it was healthy. It was a healthy thing because, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So when I was in New York City, what I would do is I would make my travel. So I would work in New York. Say I had a trip for the week, and I had 2 cities to go to. On Thursday, I would make my trip go to Charlotte because she hadn't moved yet. And I'd stay over Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Sunday, I'd fly back to New York City. So we never went more than 2 weeks without seeing each other, whether I was going there or she was coming back. When I got into the role here, it became a little bit more difficult, but she's very understanding. And the balance is, you know, I can't say that you're going to ever have that perfect work-life balance. I think what you have is the balance that works for you and your partner. And that's going to be different than him and her and everyone else. And so one thing that I did do is my wife, she got me into yoga. So I'm a big yogi. So I try to practice, you know, 4 or 5 times a week. Even when I'm on the road, I practice in my hotel room or I find a studio. I noticed that there were some people on campus that were walking around with yoga mats. So y'all must have a class or something in one of these buildings. And I was like, dang, I should have told him to put me a carve out a break so I could go get on my mat. But she teaches yoga. So so on Saturday morning she teaches, and Sunday afternoon, and I try to always be home on, like this weekend is different, but I always try to be home on the weekend and go to her class. So we spend time together. So just little things like that. But now she's at the point, it's funny, but my wife, she's like, look, it's bedtime, it's 10 o'clock, I'm going to sleep, love you. I get a text and she gone. I'm like, I'm still working, I ain't, you know, I'm not out of the meeting yet or whatever, but that's how you do it. And you just have to communicate at the end of the day. Any other questions? Nine? Come on. Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you make people see value in goods that, like, you would be giving to them that they might not necessarily find valuable due to, like, competition? And, like, I guess, like, how do you make your services stand out compared to others?
So, and when I was in New York, I came up with this model. I think I told you earlier about identify, assess. So the model was we identify talent, we assess the talent through some mechanism of assessment or something. We then assess it, then we kind of couch it and characterize it, and then we plan for succession. Because at the time when I was in New York, the project I was working on while I was brought in was to develop a succession plan strategy for the top 175 executives in the company. So the idea was this one company owned multiple companies, and instead of going out and hiring people all the time, let's move the talent around. So you're now the VP at one company, let's move you over there and be the SVP of this another company. So I took that model in corporate and I came here and I did this identify, develop talent, and now deploy talent. Because young youth entry-level talent doesn't have a lot of skills. And the way I created value is that my pitch to companies is that I spent time in corporate America, right? So I've spent time in HR and I understand what university recruiting teams are looking for. More importantly, I know what hiring managers are looking for. And so we have developed a competency model, right? That buzzword speaks to what companies do. And then we partner with the Gallup organization and we have a unique assessment that identifies 5 competencies: work ethic, motivation, activation, judgment, and teamwork. All 5 things that I can map to your core competencies at some point in your organization. Who wouldn't want a person that has those 5 things at a very high level? And so with this assessment that we take, we can then deliver you talent that we think will be a good fit for you. None of my competitors are saying that. So I took what I did in kind of corporate America. I went out and I kind of identified a partner in Gallup. I created something that then could be unique to TMCF. And then that's what we go out and kind of say is our differentiator. So I don't tell people that I can go find you 20,000 engineers. But what I do tell them is I can go find you 30 really good ones. And so my value proposition is more on quality than it is on quantity. Great question, though.
So do you use the lessons you learned throughout your career?
Every single day. So you play football. What's the earliest you've had to get up for a workout? 5? So that's no different than my 7 o'clock flight where I'm going to have to get up at 4 tomorrow morning, get on the road by 4:30, be back, turn the car in, and get on the 7 o'clock flight. It's the same thing. So in me, it's just in my blood, right? It's like, am I tired? Yeah, but how many times have you been tired? You know, you got morning workout, then you got class all day, and then you got something in the evening. Oh, and then by the way, y'all got to pack because you got to get ready for the road trip tomorrow. I take that lesson with me. I take teamwork, right? I take I really preach on my team the value of being there for each other. To this day, if a teammate asks me to go out to a campus with them, I will do it. Because it's no different than if you all are running sprints. You want to make sure that everybody on the defense, defense, offense. If defensive back? Linebacker. So if all the linebackers are running, everybody's running, right? That's the same mantra that I bring into my leadership style, and I've used that, and it's really helped me be successful. The other thing that I'd say that sports gives you is discipline, just knowing how to be stick-to-itiveness and kind of persistent when you otherwise don't want to do it. Last night I really didn't want to do what I had to do, but I stayed up and I sent emails and I got stuff out because I knew I was going to be on campus all day. So I can't let my teammates down and they be waiting on me all day because, I'm on campus speaking. Now, that's the difference between good and great. There's some people who would say, I'm on campus, I'm busy, I'm traveling. The only time I put my out of office up is when I'm on vacation. So I'm on the road between yesterday and next Wednesday, and people will still be able to email me, get me, text me, and take a phone call. My assistant, if she needs me, I will take a phone call. I don't play the whole I'm out of office because I need you to play every play. I don't need you to take off. Because the moment you take a play off is the moment you let your teammate down. You had a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of your speech, you mentioned treat everybody the same. So I've been taught that way, so I completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to start from the bottom. But my question is, since when you started your career as a maintenance, I would say maintenance employee, you knew that your capacity was more than just that, but you waited. And I wonder if there's an imagery of the person you're going to be. And in every scale that you scale up in your career, do you felt like, are you becoming the person you are, or that shaped your personality?
Both.
At every stage?
Yeah, every stage is both. I'm a very patient person. I have a heavy dose. Early in my career, I did some things that were dumbhead moves, just because I was impatient. And every time I've let my impatience and lack of humility come up, have been times that it's burned me. And so I recognize that, and I know, and I'm like, okay, I feel it, I'm uncomfortable, something isn't right, but a classic line I like to say is, let's sleep on it. So something's bothering you, you have a big decision, sleep on it. Somebody made you really mad today, don't do anything, go to sleep, wake up tomorrow, see how you feel. So if you still have that same, because if you do have it, then you got to find a way to channel it and go approach the person. But many times when you sleep on it, you realize, you wake up, you're like, that's not really as big as I made it out to be. So that's the first thing. And then in terms of shaping me and every time you move up, of course, you have to engage with people differently. You have to, remember where you came from, of course. If somebody does walk by this minute, you want to speak to them too. I mean, there were some people who walked in, and I spoke to folks as they came in the room. But you realize quickly, the higher you move up, the less time that you end up getting with people. So, I'm the king. I don't do hour meetings. I tell my assistant, put 45 meetings on the calendar. If somebody can't come in and give me what they need in 45 minutes, then it's probably not right. And I use that same approach when I using people's time. I don't know if that answered the question exactly, but you know, you can stay humble but still grow at the same time. If I had to sum it up.
Do you feel that you're satisfied with your position now, or there's still a place to grow?
There's definitely still a place to grow because I have a growth mindset, right? I don't think that I'm stuck as where I'm at. I'll probably be looking for new opportunities at some point, you know, in the next 24 months, because I need to grow, right? And an organization is 27 million. You know, we want to get to $50 million, but to get to 17 to 28 is one thing. But to go from 28 to 50, that's a whole nother, you know, that's a whole new business model. That's a whole different market analysis. And I always feel like you can grow. So to me, I'm very fulfilled in the work that I do, right? One of my Gallup strengths is belief, and I believe in this work. I believe in pouring into students. I believe in giving back. And I also believe in business, and I believe in making sure that you understand how to run a successful business model. But no, I'm not done. I mean, I like to tell people, think of things in 40-year increments. Me and my wife, every 4 years, sit down and say, are we growing together? So that's another one of the things. Every 4 years, we really just evaluate, hey, where are you? How are you at? You know, right now, she started thinking about a new opportunity. She's been about 3.5 years, and she's thinking, what's next? So you should always be thinking about moving and growing and understanding when is the right time to make the move and when is the right time to be patient. So, any other questions? Ladies, you're so quiet. I thought y'all run the world. Like, come on. Ladies, y'all quiet. Nothing? Just here? What's your name?
Lauren,
Lauren. What school you went to?
that I went to.
Yeah, high school. What's that?
Fort Recovery.
Where's that?
In Ohio.
It's in Ohio. What made you come here?
We're only an hour away from Muncie, so Muncie is the biggest city that we had around us.
Uh-huh.
My sister and brother both came here.
Okay. Anybody have anything else to ask?
What's your definition of a leader?
Ooh, my definition of a leader.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say probably it's someone who's authentic and is always looking to make other people around them better before they put themselves first. It really is about, you know, I don't think that you have to have a title to be a leader, by the way. I think all of you are all the leaders in your own right and own way. And when I was a maintenance guy, I had that mindset. Like, even though I was a maintenance guy, I think I'm still a leader. And I think that's probably what helped me be patient enough to not get caught up in like my ego that, hey, I'm this maintenance guy, but I should be doing this. Which was, even there, I was a leader. I found ways to communicate with the tenants, and then they formed a trust. So I was the one who would go out when there was a work order and say, listen, let me tell you what's going on. Here's what we're going to do for you. That was me demonstrating leadership, even though I wasn't, you know, the property manager. Anything else? Nothing? Quiet.
I have
Yes.
So you talked a lot about opportunity today. You talked a lot about taking opportunities to people. So what are your tips on taking opportunities to people, or encouraging them to see opportunities?
Oh, taking opportunity to people and getting people to see opportunity. I think the first thing is making sure that you believe in what the opportunity is, right? So for me, if I don't really believe in it, it's hard for me to get passionate. I mean, I think you all can see that I can get passionate. I can get, you know, an hour and a half ago, I was ready to take a nap. I was tired. But when I saw you all come in, it invigorates me because I feel like this is my opportunity to tell you, hey, there's something you can take away. So believe in it yourself. Secondly, push on people even though that they don't necessarily feel like they want to be pushed on, right? You can't push on everybody, but if you got 2 or 3 that you like, man, I see some potential in them, spend your time with them and don't lose touch of them, you know? Because I think those are the ones who generally want it anyway, but just don't know how to make that first step. And then lastly, just be a champion, you know? Be a champion for them as they take that opportunity, be a champion for the organizations that you're in, you know, have someone always talking about the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. I mean, Rob and I hadn't talked in I don't know how long, but then he reached out to me, and we were just in a training session for 2.5 days. Something I did made an impression on him to think about, hey, whenever I have an opportunity, I want to think of Scott Lilly and Thurgood Marshall College Fund. So that's kind of the 3 things that I'd say in terms of opportunity. This has been fun for me, even though y'all are kind of quiet. Hi, how are you? Why y'all sitting in the back? So, come up front. I would like you to. It would be nice if you would have did it in the first place, but I'm not going to.
You would be a good professor.
Yeah. Why would you sit in the back? You were already a distraction the moment you came in late. That don't even make sense, right? I don't want to be a distraction, but I came in late anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of being joking with it, but I'm being real. Actually turn it into here's what I would have done. I would have come in, I would have come all the way down here, I would have sat right here, and at the first moment we said questions, I would have stood up and I said, what's your name?
Ebony
Ebony what?
Wilson.
I would have said, sir, I actually don't have a question yet, but I would like to take a moment and say, my name is Ebony Wilson, and I would like to apologize for coming in late. I know that may have disrupted everything, and I want to apologize to those who are in the room here, but thank you for allowing me to come in and hear where you're at in your speech. Like, when you do that, you take the focus off of you already being late. What did I tell you all? And you didn't hear it. Stop thinking about yourself, think about other people. So see how I did that, right? When I just did that, that changed the whole dynamic of me thinking about her being late, right? If she would have come in and did that, everybody would have been like, that was kind of impressive, right? So why not? The only reason you didn't do it is because you're scared. Let's just be real with it, right? You just scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to be great, right? I was nervous. I was texting people like, man, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I didn't want to do this, right? I don't like talking in front of people, but it's natural for me once I get started. So just shift the conversation to how you want to shift it. Because today, in today's market, I'm telling you, you all are competing against not just the people at Ball State University. Y'all competing with, what's y'all's rival? Elon Musk, right? You competing with trying to be the next Elon Musk. If you sitting in the back of the room, the opportunity going to just pass you right by. So thank you for allowing me to use you as a little guinea pig. But you learned something, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Right. It took courage for you to sit and get your hair did that long. You probably spent 5 hours getting your damn hair done alone, right? So don't be afraid. You're great. All of you all are great and have something in you. But you all are focused on like what people think of you and am I going to fail? Who cares if you fail? You fail. You know what I say? Fail fast. Because you know what you'll do? You get right back up and you keep moving. The only thing that's going to hold you down is if you don't wake up in the morning. The day you wake up is a great day. Think about it. You're on your worst day. There's somebody that didn't wake up today. And that's how you have to think about life. Because otherwise, that opportunity that she asked about, you're just going to be wasting your time. Like, why are you here? If you're not here to get something out of it, and frankly, at the end of the day, get some money to have a lifestyle, then stop doing it. Just like go home. Like save your money. Stop right now. Just, hell, y'all still in ad drop, right? Is it still early enough? We might be too late now, right? Damn, y'all didn't waste your minus stands for the semester now. But don't come back next semester if you're not serious about really trying to figure out how you can add some value. Because you're wasting money. And you can do a lot of other things with that money. Because you're going to have to pay it back. It ain't free. It ain't I'm telling you. If you take a loan, you take a credit card, somebody going to want their money back. And if I hire you and you don't give me my, day's worth of work, then, That makes sense. You have any questions? You first.
Can you do a recap of what you talked about in the last,
Just, no, I can't. It's hard. I will think about it and talk to you after, but I don't want to recap it and then they say, you didn't say that earlier. So then me and you talk one-on-one.
Thank you. I'm sure you interview a lot of people.
Yes.
And you talk a lot about like adding value. So in it, like whenever you
what makes you, let's interview. Can we do a little exercise?
Christian knows where this is
Huh?
going.
So, what's your name? Hope what? Hope Peterlin. How are you? Good. So you came in today and you're here to interview. You know what? I could ask you a lot of questions, but I only have 5 minutes, and I just want to just get straight to the point. What's the one thing that makes you stand out over all the other candidates that I've seen today, and why I should hire you? First thing that comes to your mind.
I always try to communicate, even if,
Communicate. Okay, why did you say communication?
because that's important to almost every job.
Why do you think communication is important to every job?
Because every job you're working with people and you have to, like, share your ideas and thoughts and
Why do you like to share your thoughts and ideas with people?
to get their perspective.
Oh, why do you like getting other people's perspective? Just first thing that comes to mind, don't overthink it.
Because it helps me understand things.
Oh, why do you like to understand things on a deeper level?
Because it makes me a better person and thinker, just in the work and everything else.
Mr. Lilly, the one thing that I could bring to the table is I'm a critical thinker. And I recognize in today's marketplace, when you combine critical thinking with effective communication, you're able to add value to individuals, and I know that I can add value to you. If you give me this opportunity, you're not going to see the same thing in everyone else, even though they're going to say it, but I bring something unique because I really get close to the problem, and I love solving the solution through communication. That's why you should hire me. Right? I put it together better than she did, and it sounded good. But that, you said Hope, right? That was your words, Hope. I just kept asking you what question did I keep asking you?
Like, why?
What I want you to do in an interview, when you think about it, even from your resume, is ask yourself over and over, why should somebody hire me? When you answer the question, ask why again. When you answer the question, ask why again. You haven't spent any time, and I know I put you on the spot, so thank you for allowing me to do it, but it is an exercise called the 5 whys. And you ask yourself, right? So it becomes your elevator speech, it becomes that thing, because I'm telling you, everybody's going to close the interview. So tell me, at the end of the day, why should I hire you, right? How many people have gone through the interviews and had that question? Some form of it, right? So mine would be, my ability to relate to people and connect the dots very quickly is my one thing. You can put me in a room at a round table with students, and you can put me in front of the president of the university, and I can represent our organization so that my president and CEO doesn't have to come out here and do it. I understand how to manage a budget, I understand how to manage people, and by putting the right people together and facilitating that process, I'm the person for the job to make your life easier. Right? You see that? But I've spent time with myself asking, what is it that I do? I connect the dots very quickly, right? I talked about yoga. Y'all see how I connected? I just saw somebody with a yoga mat, and I connected the dot that y'all must have yoga classes. My ability to relate to people. Today, I met for breakfast, and I think we connected right off the bat. I've connected with people all day long. This young lady told me, hey, I met someone that met you today, and they said that, right? I connected with somebody and related to somebody else that passed it along, and I came to this. So now he can say, I got another count in the room. I added value to him by my ability to relate to someone that knows her. That's my one thing, right? That's what makes me come to the table. There's a book, by the way, called Your One Thing. You can look it up. And it helps you go through the process of kind of figuring this out. But Hope, don't take that. This is a skill that I've developed over time, and some of it is a gift, right? So I don't expect all of you all to be able to do that, but I do expect you to go back and really tonight, think about what is it that I bring to the table, right? Because the answer is in the 5th why. It's not in the first. The first answer that you usually say is the thing that I've heard as an interviewer 1,000 times. But the thing that you say after answering it the 5th time, I'm like, so tell me a little bit more about that. What is it that you like to think? Do you like to think by yourself? Do you like to work in teams? Now, I'm going to start asking you more questions. See, it's a little reverse then.
Mr. Lilly, I don't have a question.
Okay.
But, thank you for coming to Ball State. I need to leave.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, go to class. Don't be late because of me. I can't write you a pass. Yes, ma'am.
Forgive me for not knowing, but have you written a book, and if not, have you considered
No, I have not written a book, and no, I have not considered it. But maybe after this, that'll be my new challenge and opportunity. So, anybody have any other questions? I thank you for your time. I really do. This is important. It means a lot. I mean, I came out here and you know, you didn't have to show up today. I mean, you did, and I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm humbled that you did, and I hopefully gave you something that you can leave with. Hopefully, Rob, this met your expectations and Ball State's expectations, and whatever we can do, I'm sure we're going to have more conversation around partnerships and just kind of ideation, whatever I can present to you guys, you know, let me know. So, thank you. And you dressed up. He was standing out to me, guys. I'm telling you. He came in, he was in this microeconomics today. He had Adidas pants on, he had a sweatshirt, right? It was black. He sat on the front row. He was attentive and he took notes. He didn't say anything. But then now he's showing up here and he's got jeans and hard bottoms on and a half vest. Something's going, he wants something, but he knows that there's opportunity, right? Okay, see? I'm a talent identifier. That's what I do. Thank you.